A young brother from the west coast of L.A. South Central fool where the Crips and the Bloods play.
1,200 miles to the south, another creative force was about to break the barriers.
4 or 5 brothers in a mothership, better known as a deuce, and we all wanna take a hit.
Gangsta rap was a rage-filled reaction to the living conditions of African Americans in urban Los Angeles. In South Central L.A., young black men were 5 times more likely than whites to die by acts of violence. More of them were in prison than in college. For many white Americans, hip-hop opened a window onto a world they'd never seen. Rappers like Ice-T, Ice Cube, and Cypress Hill expressed the anger and frustrations of a community that often felt abandoned and ignored.
My job as a rapper or a musician is to sing about what's going on in my world, because a lot of times musicians become spokespeople for people who can't speak.
We never were really glorifying violence. We were basically giving examples of a lifestyle and what they lead to.
Whether you agreed with what they were saying or not, you know, they were saying something, and it was interesting, and it was often controversial.
Ice-T and Ice Cube, you know, were leading correspondents on the conditions out here in California.
But Ice Cube had more amps. Get in, G.
By 1992, it all reached a head.
Hold it now.
Groups like Public Enemy were selling millions of records, but mainstream media still feared their pointed social commentary.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What I use in a battle for the mind. Hit it hard.
Even television trailblazers like Saturday Night Live shied away from hip-hop acts.
You could tell the network was very panicked about what might happen, what they might say. Were they going to smoke pot on TV?
And with rap, you know, a lot of the establishment and conservative type people, they don't really want to hear what we have to say.
The fear of rap wasn't the actual words, it was the fear that we would gain allies, that what we would say would turn white America or the white America that's willing to listen and to understand it. And there's a fear of your kid taking down that New Kids on the Block poster and putting Ice-T over her little princess bedroom set.
They don't really want it to be another racial attack in the sky, so give some money back.
These police down here, man. Word, we don't need this. Hit the gates.
L.A. rappers railed against police brutality and warned that anger and resentment on the streets of South Central was about to boil over.
If you've never been out on the streets and had to deal with the cops firsthand, or dealing with a group of people that are dealing with them firsthand, you're not capable of understanding how corrupt they can be.
Why? Gotta get out, you gotta get out. Why? Because the fields are where you die.
I'm gonna treat you like king. What king? Like Martin Luther King, like Rodney King, like all the kings from Africa.
In the spring of '92, tension between the police and the people of South Central reached an all-time high. 4 white officers were standing trial for the brutal beating of an unarmed black man named Rodney King. The relentless assault, which occurred a year earlier, was caught on tape and broadcast repeatedly throughout the trial, fanning the flames of outrage.
When the Rodney King situation, which was almost an everyday, you know, occurrence, and was captured on film, that was like, you know, our hands is up, we had enough.
It came to a lot of people's attention that, wow, things aren't right down there.
For many in South Central, the Rodney King beating was no isolated incident. In their neighborhood, they said, police brutality was commonplace. But this time, it seemed that the evidence was plain for all to see, leaving no doubt what the verdict would be.
LA ain't having it. LA people aren't with it. We don't want our city to be a police state. You know, from the rich white people to the kids in the hood, it's like, look, do your job, officer. But all that bullshit, it makes our city look bad, you know?
But at 3 o'clock on the afternoon of April 29th, 1992, the jury returned to the courtroom after 7 days of deliberation and delivered an astonishing verdict on the 4 officers accused of beating Rodney King.
We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty, not guilty, not guilty, not guilty.
1, 2, 3, and I come with the wicked style when you know that I'm from the wicked.
And then all hell broke loose.
Can't dig it, 'cause I get wicked.
A community's collective anger exploded. South Central Los Angeles was torn apart by an uprising of frightening and uncontrollable fury.
Ain't no nonviolent movement going on in 1992.
Helicopters provided live coverage of the vengeful destruction. At the corner of Florence and Normandy in the heart of South Central, a white truck driver was pulled from his cab and nearly beaten to death.
No! Don't kill him!
Stores were looted and burned. Neighborhood streets turned into scorched battlegrounds.
Mother police! April 29th, push power to the people, and we might just see a sequel, cause police got equal hate.
As the next few days unfolded and you just saw the magnitude of it and the devastation that was created by it and the chaos and the businesses that got burned.
Sometimes a riot isn't a violent movement. It's more of a tantrum. You know, like when you're a kid and you're mad, you break your own toys. When you're an inmate and you're mad, you burn up your own mattress. It's a way of saying, I'm so mad and you guys got to hear what we're saying.
Because we pick up their mics, we put down their guns, yes, and we hit, so we run it down.
For 4 days and nights, the riots raged, and when the smoke cleared, 55 people were dead and 2,400 injured. Firemen had battled 2,000 blazes. Much of South Central lay in ruins.
Maybe I got some problems. Chuck D came to help me solve them.
Then all of a sudden you saw the media, the mainstream media, turning to people like Chuck D of Public Enemy and Ice Cube and Ice-T and interviewing them almost like they were politicians, you know, saying, what is going on here? You know, what does this say about our youth, about our culture?
The future of Los Angeles, what do you see happening?
It's gonna go down, but I think LA is a microcosm of the United States. I think if LA falls, the country falls.
This is going out to all my homeboys on the streets and all the brothers locked down.
But while millions of suburban white kids rushed to record stores to hear what rappers had to say, their gritty grooves frightened many of their parents. Hip-hop's higher visibility was about to become a liability.
People were really coming to the realization that these hip-hop artists were not cartoon characters. They were talking about real stuff that was going on in America, and people had different reactions to that. And some of the reactions were, well, shut them up, make them go away.
The Bush administration tried to do just that. In the thick of a presidential campaign, they condemned rap artists for promoting violence, and Ice-T gave the White House all the ammunition it needed by releasing a song called Cop Killer.
Cop Killer!
The Bush administration had long accused the entertainment industry of undermining family values. Now they went a step further by accusing Ice-T and his record label of sanctioning a call to murder.
They are making money off a record that is suggesting it's okay to kill cops, and that is wrong.
At first, Ice-T and Warner Brothers Records stood their ground.
I'm like, the record isn't let's go cop killing. You should be a cop killer. I don't hate all cops. It's about brutal cops, which I feel everybody feels they should be dealt with. And I ain't apologizing for it. I made the record, and that's that.
I don't think anywhere in the record it says, hey kids, go out and do this. No more than Eric Clapton or Bob Marley said, go shoot a sheriff.
But for many still in shock over the violent uprising in L.A., Quayle's attack on rap struck a nerve.
The fact that the L.A. riots happened and this controversy over Ice-T's Cop Killer, I don't think it's a coincidence. I think after the L.A. riots, people were really scared.
Freedom of speech!
Yeah. Just watch what you say.
The Bush administration hammered away at Cop Killer, and Warner Brothers and Ice-T finally caved in to the political pressure by pulling the song off the shelves.
They're using me as a platform. They're trying to create something so they can stand on this traditional values thing, and they're going to use me. They're going to stand on me and ride to the presidency. This is bull.
George Bush and Dan Quayle had won their battle over Cop Killer, but they'd alienated young voters in the process, and Bill Clinton would reap the reward.
Yeah, boy.